All right, today we are diving into Alex Hormozi's playbook for building absolutely wildly profitable companies. We're talking about the method that took him from nearly bankrupt to running a portfolio of businesses worth over $100 million. So how do you do it? How do you build something that massive, completely on your own terms? It's the dream, right? Well, according to Hormozi, the answer isn't some crazy, complicated secret formula. Actually, it's way, way simpler than you'd think. It all starts here, with one thing, an offer that people can't say no to. That's the whole foundation. Before you even think about marketing funnels or a fancy website or your ad budget, you have to nail this. Everything else, it all flows from this one single point. This right here, this one sentence is basically the core of his entire philosophy. It's not about being tricky or using cheap sales tactics. It's about creating so much overwhelming value that the decision to buy becomes a complete and total no-brainer for your customer. So, this is the very first step on what Hormozi calls the entrepreneur's ladder. It's all about crafting this irresistible offer. He calls it the Grand Slam offer. And believe me, it's the foundation for everything that's about to come next. Look, most entrepreneurs, they run into the same two problems over and over. Not enough clients and not enough cash. A Grand Slam offer is literally designed to solve both of those at once. It's an offer that's so packed with value that it doesn't just pull customers in, it completely repositions your business, letting you charge a premium because the value is just undeniable. And that brings us to a really critical distinction. Are you competing on price? Are you just constantly trying to undercut your competitors in this miserable race to the bottom? Or are you competing on value? Are you creating something so powerful that the price tag becomes almost an afterthought? Okay, so once you have that core value proposition figured out, how do you crank it up to 11? Well, you do it by using a few really powerful psychological triggers that make your offer truly irresistible. Now, this requires a huge mindset shift. You have to stop pricing your stuff based on what it costs you. Start pricing it based on the value of the transformation you're providing. I mean, if you can solve $1 million problem for somebody, you can sure as heck charge more than just a simple hourly rate. Hormozi breaks it down into 4 key enhancers. First, scarcity, like there are only so many spots available. Then urgency, putting a deadline on it. Bonuses, which just stack even more value onto what you're already offering. And finally, giving the whole thing a powerful benefit-driven name. Building an incredible offer is step 1, but it's totally useless if nobody ever sees it. So the next step is to build the engine that brings people to your front door. You've got to generate leads. Hormozi lays out 4 main ways to do this, but here's the counterintuitive part. Your goal is not to do all of them, it's to master one of them. Pick a lane, whether it's creating content, doing outreach, or running paid ads, and just go all in on that one thing. Spreading yourself too thin here is a guaranteed recipe for failure. Okay, now we get to a concept that really scales the entire business. It's not just about getting that first sale. It's about building a system, what Hormozi calls a money model, to dramatically, and I mean dramatically, increase the lifetime value of every single customer. You've seen this 1,000 times, maybe without even realizing it. Think about renting a car. You get drawn in by some crazy $19 a day deal, right? That's the attraction offer. But then comes the insurance, the GPS, the prepaid fuel. All of those are upsells, and you walk out of there paying $100. That's a simple but really effective money model in action. The logic behind this is just so simple, but so powerful. Once a customer buys from you, they've already shown they trust you. So what's the very next problem they're going to have? If you can offer them the solution right then and there, you're not just making more money, you're providing a ton of value. Hormozi tells this great story to illustrate a specific type of upsell. He walks into this super high-end suit shop, and the owner drapes a suit over his shoulder. He peeks at the price tag, and it's $16,000. He's just in total shock. So the owner sees his reaction and asks, "Do you care about the designer all that much?" Hormozi says, "No, not really." So the owner brings out another suit. It looks great. He checks the price tag, $2,200. This is a perfect example of the anchor upsell. Compared to that first 16 grand suit, suddenly $2,200 felt like an absolute bargain. He ended up spending 5 times what he planned to, and he felt great about it. Because that high initial price completely reframed his entire perception of value. Okay, now we get to one of the most crucial and honestly one of the most difficult principles for entrepreneurs to follow, and that is radical, almost painful focus. This is the 11-11 rule, and it is brutally simple. One perfect product for one specific audience promoted through one marketing channel. The single biggest mistake entrepreneurs make is trying to diversify way too early, spreading their limited time and money far too thin. I mean, the contrast is just stark. The common approach is total chaos. The 1-1-1 rule is pure clarity. It forces you to perfect one system that actually works before you even think about adding anything else to your plate. And look, this isn't just some theory. Take the company It's Skinny Pasta. They built a $10 million a year business in just 4 years. How'd they do it? They lived and breathed the 1-1-1 rule. They focused on one core product for one specific niche, and they absolutely dominated their marketing channel. So we've covered the offers, the leads, the money models, and the focus. But you know what? None of it works without the final piece of this puzzle, having the right mindset to actually go out and do it. This is one of my absolute favorite quotes from Hormozi. Confidence isn't something you just manifest out of thin air. It's something you build. You build it by doing the hard things, by getting results, by creating a track record of your own success brick by brick. So, you now have the blueprint, the models for creating killer offers, getting leads, and staying focused. They're all right here. The only question left is, what stack of undeniable proof are you going to start building for yourself starting today?